If you're thinking about selling your DFW home to Opendoor because it sounds fast, easy, and less stressful, I want you to hear this before you click accept. Because on paper, an instant offer can look close. But once you factor in the actual offer, repair adjustments, service costs, closing costs, and what your home might have sold for on the open market, the gap can get very expensive very quickly. And on a $500,000 home in Frisco, McKinney, Allen, Plano, Prosper, or anywhere across North Texas, even a few percentage points can mean tens of thousands of dollars. Very casual, very convenient, very, wait, where did my equity go? So let's talk about whether selling to Opendoor makes sense or whether listing your home on the open market could put more money in your pocket. Let me start with this. Opendoor is not automatically bad. For some sellers, speed and certainty matter more than maximizing every dollar. Maybe you already bought another home. Maybe you inherited a property. Maybe you don't want showings, prep work, repairs, staging, or the emotional roller coaster of listing. I get that. There is value in convenience. But here's the part sellers need to understand. Convenience has a price tag, and she is not shy. The mistake is assuming the highest looking number is the best number. It is not. The number that matters is your net, not the headline offer, not the estimate, not the this could be easy feeling, your net. That is the money you actually walk away with after everything is deducted. So there are three big things sellers need to compare before deciding between an instant offer and the open market. Let's break them down. First, the offer price is not the same thing as fair market value. This is where sellers can get tripped up. If your home could realistically sell for $500,000 on the open market and an instant offer comes in at 95% of that, that sounds pretty close. But 95% of $500,000 is $475,000. That is already a $25,000 difference before we even talk about fees, repairs, or other deductions. Did you know a 3% difference on a $500,000 home is $15,000? A 5% difference is $25,000. That is not a rounding error. That is a bathroom renovation. That is moving costs. That is a serious chunk of your next down payment. That is the part that gets lost when sellers only look at the speed of the offer. Second, repair adjustments can change the math. A lot of sellers love the idea of selling as is, and I understand why. Nobody wants to spend 3 weekends touching up paint, replacing carpet, fixing inspection items, and pretending they suddenly enjoy garage organization. But as is does not always mean deduction free. If an instant buyer reviews the home and adjusts for repairs, those costs may come out of your proceeds. So now the math is not just what did they offer, it is what did they offer after repair adjustments. And that is a very different conversation. Fun fact, when you list on the open market, buyers may still ask for repairs or credits, but there is usually negotiation. With an instant offer model, the repair adjustment may feel more like, here is the number, take it or leave it. That certainty can be useful, but it can also be expensive. Third, you have to compare the instant offer to what the open market could actually do. This is where strategy matters. If your home is well prepared, priced correctly, photographed beautifully, and marketed properly, the open market may create more demand than one private offer. That does not mean every home gets multiple offers. That does not mean every seller gets over asking. And I am definitely not here to promise fantasy numbers. But the open market gives you exposure. It gives real buyers a chance to compete. It gives your home a public test. And in many cases, that competition is where equity is protected. The instant offer is buying certainty. The open market is testing demand. Those are two very different strategies. So let's use simple math. Let's say your home's fair market value is around $500,000. If you list traditionally and sell near that number, your final net will depend on your negotiated commissions, seller closing costs, repairs, concessions, and payoff. Now let's say an instant offer starts a few points below that market value. Then you subtract service-related costs, possible repair adjustments, and closing costs. Suddenly, the difference may not feel like a small convenience fee anymore. It may feel like real equity leaving the room. And that is the whole point of this video. I am not saying never sell to Opendoor. I am saying do not compare speed to stress. Compare net to net, because speed is emotional. Net is mathematical, and math has no feelings. Now, when might an instant offer make sense? If you need certainty more than top dollar. If you have a property that needs work and you do not want to deal with it. If your timeline is tight. If privacy matters. If showings would create too much disruption. Or if the convenience is truly worth the trade-off to you. That is a valid choice. But when might listing make more sense? If your home is in good condition, if it shows well, if it is in a desirable North Texas location, if buyer demand exists in your price point, if your timeline allows for proper marketing, and if your goal is to protect the most equity possible. That is where a full listing strategy can matter. Because selling is not just about putting the house online. It is about pricing, positioning, photography, prepping, marketing, negotiating, and knowing how buyers in your specific pocket of DFW are behaving right now. McKinney is not Frisco. Frisco is not Allen. Allen is not Prosper. Prosper is not Plano. And even inside the same city, one neighborhood can behave very differently from another. That is why a generic online number is not enough. You need a real side-by-side. Here's what I would do before making a decision. Get the instant offer. There is nothing wrong with having information, but before accepting it, get a local net sheet showing what your home could likely sell for if listed properly. Then compare both scenarios, not emotionally, not based on convenience alone, line by line. Offer price, estimated market value, service costs, repairs, closing costs, commission, timeline, risk, certainty, and final net. That is the only way to know whether the convenience is worth the cost. And if the difference is $5,000, maybe convenience wins. If the difference is $50,000, $75,000, or more, then we need to have a very different conversation. Because that is not just convenience. That is equity. And once it is gone, it is gone. Here is how I see my job. I am not here to tell every seller the same thing. I am here to help you understand your options clearly. Sometimes the right answer is speed. Sometimes the right answer is strategy. Sometimes the right answer is listing. Sometimes the right answer is taking the easy offer and moving on with your life. But you deserve to make that decision with real numbers in front of you. Not a guess, not a website estimate, not a sales pitch. Real numbers. So here's the takeaway. Selling to Opendoor may be simple. Listing your home may create more opportunity. Neither option is automatically right or wrong, but choosing without comparing your actual net, that is where sellers can leave serious money on the table. If you're thinking about selling in McKinney, Allen, Frisco, Prosper, Plano, Celina, or anywhere across North Texas, subscribe for more North Texas seller content. Or text me directly at 720-281-3640 if you want me to model both options side by side. Because before you trade equity for convenience, let's make sure you know exactly what that convenience is costing you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.